My child, lean in closer and let the world outside fade into a distant, inconsequential whisper. For I have been watching you from the heights of glory, and I see the weight you have been carrying upon your weary shoulders. I hear the silent, rhythmic beating of your heart, a heart that has grown heavy with the burden of lack, a heart that has learned to count every penny with a trembling hand, fearing that the next moment might be the one where the well runs dry. You have spent so many nights staring at the ceiling, calculating and recalculating, trying to stretch what is finite to meet needs that feel infinite. But I am here to tell you, in this sacred moment of stillness, that the season of counting is coming to an abrupt and glorious end. I am reaching out across the expanse of time and space to touch your spirit, to remind you that you are not a beggar in this kingdom, but an heir to an inheritance that cannot be measured by the earthly ledgers you have been studying so intensely. Stop your counting, my child. Stop looking at the numbers that flicker on a screen or the paper that feels so thin between your fingers, for those numbers do not define the depth of my love or the vastness of the provision I have already set in motion for you. I see the tears you've wiped away in secret when the bills arrived, and I have felt every pang of anxiety that has gripped your chest when you wondered if you would be enough, if you would have enough. You have lived in the shadow of not enough for far too long, and today, I am calling you out of that darkness and into the blinding light of my abundance. I am opening the vaults of heaven for you this very hour, not tomorrow, not in some distant, unreachable future, but today. These are not vaults made of stone or steel, but the storehouses of the miraculous, overflowing with blessings that have your name written upon them before the foundations of the world were even laid. You have prayed for a way out, but I am giving you a way up. You have asked for a trickle, but I am preparing a flood. Can you feel the shift in the spiritual atmosphere around you? Can you sense the breaking of the drought? The dry ground of your life, which has been parched by years of struggle and the scorching heat of financial worry, is about to receive a rain so heavy and so sweet that every seed of faith you have ever planted will sprout into a forest of prosperity. You have been faithful over the little, and I have watched how you handled the crumbs with grace, even when your soul was starving for a feast. Because of that faithfulness, because you did not turn your back on me, even when the cupboards were bare, I am now unlocking the gates of favor that no man can shut. Listen to the sound of my voice as it resonates within your soul, for it carries the frequency of creation itself. When I speak, stars are born. When I whisper, the mountains tremble. And when I promise you restoration, the very laws of the universe must align to bring it to pass. You have felt so small, so overlooked, as if you were just one of billions lost in the noise of a frantic world. But to me, you are the focus of my divine attention. I have seen you sitting at your table, head in hands, wondering if anyone hears your prayers. I want you to know that not a single word you uttered in the dark was lost. Every "help me" was recorded. Every sigh of exhaustion was a bridge built toward this moment. You are not an accident of history. You are a masterpiece of my design, and it is not my will for my masterpiece to be covered in the dust of poverty or the grime of constant survival. Survival is a low frequency, my beloved, and I am calling you up to the frequency of thriving. I am calling you to breathe the thin, pure air of the mountain peaks where lack does not exist. Someone is already on their way to you. Even as these words reach your ears, footsteps are echoing on the path toward your door. I have moved upon the hearts of others to be the conduits of my grace. I am stirring the spirits of those who have the means to bless you, whispering your name into their thoughts in the quiet hours of the night. You do not need to hunt for your blessing. Your blessing is currently hunting for you. It is tracking you down, guided by the light of your persistence. You have spent years knocking on doors that remained closed, but I am the one who holds the master key. I am opening the doors of opportunity that you didn't even know existed. I am aligning the stars of your destiny so that you will be in the right place, at the right time, to receive the financial freedom you have cried out for. This freedom is not just about the absence of debt, though the debt shall be cleared. It is about the presence of peace. It is about the ability to sleep through the night without the ghost of interest rates and unpaid balances haunting your dreams. It is about the power to give, to be a river rather than a reservoir, knowing that the source from which you draw is inexhaustible. I want you to take a deep breath right now, the deepest breath you've taken in years. Let out the tension in your jaw, the tightness in your neck, and the knot in your stomach. Feel the warmth of my presence surrounding you like a golden cloak. You are safe. You are provided for. You are cherished beyond your wildest imagination. The vaults are swinging wide on hinges of mercy, and the treasures within are not just gold and silver, but divine ideas, supernatural connections, and sudden breakthroughs that will leave you breathless with wonder. You have looked at your bank account and seen a dead end, but I look at the same account and see a starting line. I am the God who brings water from the rock and manna from the sky. Do you think your current circumstances are too difficult for me? Do you think the walls of your financial prison are too thick for my light to penetrate? Oh, my child, if you could only see what I see. You would see legions of angels carrying the blueprints of your new life. You would see the chains of generational lack snapping like brittle threads. You would see the path ahead of you paved with the gold of my favor. This is the end of the era of just enough. No longer will you have to choose between this necessity and that one. No longer will you have to feel the sting of shame when you cannot provide the way you desire. I am washing away the shame of the past and replacing it with the dignity of the kingdom. I am dressing you in robes of abundance so that everywhere you go, people will see the evidence of my goodness upon you. They will ask, "How did this happen?" And you will simply point to the heavens and say, "My Father remembered me. I have never forgotten you. I have never turned my gaze away. Even in the moments when you felt most abandoned, I was right there, collecting your tears in a bottle and preparing the recompense for your pain. The time for the recompense is here. The vaults are open. The messenger is coming. The freedom is yours. Walk with me now into this new day, and do not look back at the pennies you left behind, for you are stepping into a wealth that is as eternal as my love for you. Can you feel the weight of this atmosphere beginning to change, my child? Stay here with me in this sacred stillness, for we are peeling back the layers of your heart to make room for the immensity of what is coming. You have spent so long in a state of hypervigilance, your mind constantly scanning the horizon for the next storm, the next unexpected expense, the next reason to lower your head in defeat. But I am asking you now to surrender that posture of defense. Look at me. Look into the eyes of the one who measured the waters in the hollow of his hand and marked off the heavens with a span. If I can hold the galaxies in their orbits, can I not hold your life? Can I not sustain your household? You have been trying to solve a divine equation with a human calculator, and that is why you are exhausted. You were never meant to carry the burden of your own providence. That is my role. That is my promise. I am the great provider, and I am calling you back into the position of a beloved child who simply trusts that the Father's table is always full. Think of the energy you have expended in worry, the hours stolen by the what-ifs and the how-wills. I am gathering those stolen hours and I am redeeming them. I am pouring back into you the strength that anxiety has drained from your bones. The fatigue you feel is not just physical. It is a spiritual weariness from fighting a battle that I have already won. You have been clenching your fists so tightly, trying to hold on to the little you have, but I need you to open your hands. You cannot receive the abundance of the vaults of heaven if your fingers are still wrapped around the copper coins of the past. Let them go. Let the fear of losing what you have be swallowed up by the certainty of what I am giving. I am not a God of scarcity. I am the God of the overflow. When I fed the thousands in the wilderness, I did not give them just enough to stop the hunger pangs. I gave them so much that there were baskets left over. That is the signature of my hand on a life. The more than enough, the running over, the abundance beyond measure. I know the secret places of your heart where you have hidden your deepest disappointments. I see the scars left by dreams that seemed to wither before they could bloom. You have whispered to yourself, maybe this is just my lot in life. Maybe I am meant to struggle while others thrive. Those are the whispers of the enemy, the thief who comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. He wants you to believe that poverty is a sign of piety or that lack is your destiny. I am here to break that lie today. I did not create you to be a monument to misery. I created you to be a testament to my glory. When you thrive, my grace is made visible. When you walk in freedom, the world sees that I am a father who keeps his word. I am not opening these vaults just to give you a temporary reprieve. I am doing it to establish a new foundation for your entire lineage. I am changing the story of your family, starting with you. The cycle of barely making it ends here. The legacy of not quite enough stops at your feet. Stay in this moment with me, for I am speaking directly to the parts of you that have grown numb. I am speaking to the hope that you buried deep in the earth because it hurt too much to keep hoping. I am commanding that hope to rise. I am breathing life into the dry bones of your aspirations. You have thought about the things you would do if you only had the resources, the people you would help, the ministries you would support, the joy you would bring to those you love. I have seen those desires, and I tell you, those were not just your thoughts. They were my whispers in your spirit. I gave you those desires because I intend to give you the means to fulfill them. I am not just giving you wealth. I am giving you a mission. I am entrusting you with the riches of the kingdom because I know your heart is aligned with mine. Imagine the vaults opening. Hear the sound of those celestial doors swinging wide. It is a sound of music, a sound of victory, a sound of liberation. Within them is everything you have ever lacked and so much more. There are solutions to problems you haven't even encountered yet. There are keys to territories you haven't yet explored. And yes, there is the gold, the silver, and the currency of this world, refined and purified by my blessing. You have lived with a poverty mindset, because life has been hard, but I am giving you a palace mindset today. You are a child of the King, and it is time you started walking like one. You don't have to beg for what is already yours by divine right. You don't have to negotiate for my goodness. It is my good pleasure to give you the kingdom. I see you nodding, your spirit beginning to recognize the truth of my words. You feel a warmth spreading through your chest, a lightness you haven't felt in years. That is my spirit confirming that this is your time. The someone I have sent is getting closer. Their heart is burning with a desire to be a blessing, and they don't even fully understand why yet. They think they are just doing a kind deed, but they are an instrument in the hands of the Almighty. I am orchestrating a divine intersection where your need meets my supply through a human vessel. You won't have to manipulate this. You won't have to force it. It will happen with the ease of a leaf falling on still water. Do not be afraid of the magnitude of this change. Often, my children are more afraid of success than they are of struggle because struggle is familiar. You have learned how to survive in the desert, but you don't yet know how to live in the garden. I will teach you. I will lead you by the hand and show you how to manage the abundance I am pouring out. I will give you the wisdom to be a good steward, the discernment to know where to sow, and the peace to enjoy the fruits of your labor. This is a total restoration of your joy. The years the locusts have eaten, the years of loss, the years of wasted effort, the years of silent suffering, I am restoring them all. So, stop counting the pennies, my child. Stop looking down at the dust. Look up. Look into the horizon where the sun is rising on a new day. The shadows of your financial anxiety are lengthening and disappearing. The light of my favor is bathing everything in its path. You are moving from the wilderness of wait into the promised land of now. I am with you in every breath. I am for you in every moment. The vaults are open, the angels are rejoicing, and your life is about to become a masterpiece of my provision. Rest in me. Trust in me. Receive this word into the very marrow of your bones. Your financial freedom is not a dream, it is your new reality, and it begins this very second. My child, let us go deeper now, into the quiet chambers of your soul where the echoes of past struggles still linger like a persistent fog. To truly step into the light of the vaults I have opened, we must first walk through the shadows you have tried so hard to hide, even from me. I see the scars that financial trauma has left upon your spirit. I see the moments when you felt the cold sting of humiliation, the times you had to say no to something your child needed, the times you walked away from a dream because the price tag was simply too high, or the times you felt the judgmental eyes of others when you couldn't keep up with the pace of a world obsessed with status. You have carried a secret shame, a feeling that your worth was tied to the balance of an account, and that because that balance was low, you were somehow less than. But I am here to tell you that the world's measure of value is a lie, and the pain you have endured was never my design for your identity. I saw you in those moments of deep desperation, when you felt like a failure because you couldn't provide the life you envisioned. I saw you in the grocery store aisles, secretly putting items back because the math wasn't adding up in your head. I felt the lump in your throat and the burning behind your eyes. This pain has been a heavy cloak, hasn't it? It has muffled your laughter and dampened your spirit. You have lived in a state of spiritual survival, where every prayer was a plea for a life raft rather than a song of praise. You have been afraid to dream because dreaming felt like a luxury you couldn't afford. You told yourself, if I don't hope for much, it won't hurt as much when it doesn't happen. This protective shell of cynicism was built out of bricks of disappointment, and I see how tired you are of holding it up. You have been fighting a war against a sense of inadequacy that was never yours to own. The enemy of your soul has used your financial struggles as a megaphone to whisper that you are forgotten, that you are cursed, or that you are simply not one of the lucky ones. But luck has nothing to do with the covenant I have made with you. Your struggles were not a sign of my absence. They were the refining fire that prepared your heart to handle the weight of the glory I am about to bestow upon you. I know the nights you spent weeping into your pillow, wondering why life had to be so hard, why every step forward seemed to be met with 2 steps back. I know the fear of the mailbox, the dread of the phone ringing, the exhaustion of the hustle that never seemed to yield a harvest. These are not just memories to me, they are the reasons I am moving with such urgency today. I am reaching into those deep, dark places of your history, and I am pulling out the roots of poverty-induced trauma. I am healing the lack wound in your soul. You have been conditioned to expect the worst, to wait for the other shoe to drop, to believe that any good news is just a cruel joke before the next disaster. This is the trauma of the purse, and it has kept your spirit in a cage. But today, the cage door is not just unlocked, it has been removed from its hinges. I am deprogramming the fear from your nervous system. I am teaching your heart that it is safe to be still, that it is safe to expect goodness, and that it is safe to believe that your needs will not only be met but exceeded. Think of the energy you have used just to stay afloat. Imagine if that energy were redirected into creativity, into love, into building the kingdom. That is what I am doing right now. I am reclaiming your focus. I am washing away the grit and the grime of the years you spent in the trenches of debt. I see the hidden struggles that no one else knows about, the things you sacrificed so that others wouldn't have to go without. I saw your secret generosity even when you were in need, the way you gave your last bit of strength or your last few dollars to someone you thought was worse off than you. Those acts of sacrificial sowing did not go unnoticed. They were screams of faith in a desert of lack, and they have reached my ears. The pain of those sacrifices is being transformed into the fuel for your future. I am taking every tear you shed over a bill and turning it into a diamond of favor. I am taking every sigh of frustration and turning it into a breath of divine inspiration. You have felt invisible, my child. You felt like the world was moving on without you, like everyone else had the map to the treasure and you were left wandering in the dark without a compass. But I was the compass. I was the one keeping you from sinking entirely. I was the one giving you just enough strength to get through one more day, one more week, one more month. And now, the just enough is being replaced by the overflow. I want you to let out a long, slow breath and release the tension of those years. The struggle is not your identity. The lack is not your story. They were merely the prologue. The real story begins here, at the mouth of the open vaults. We are digging deep today because I cannot build a skyscraper of blessing on a foundation of fear. I am clearing out the rubble of past bankruptcies, not just financial ones, but emotional and spiritual bankruptcies. I am removing the orphan spirit that makes you feel like you have to fight for every scrap. You are a child of the King. You have a Father whose resources are limitless. Why should you worry about the crumbs when I own the bakery? Why should you worry about the drops when I own the ocean? I am recalibrating your vision so that you no longer see through the lens of your past pain, but through the lens of my promise. The trauma is leaving you now. The heaviness is lifting. The poverty cloud is dissipating, and the sun of my righteousness is rising with healing in its wings. I want you to acknowledge the pain one last time, not to wallow in it, but to bid it farewell. Say goodbye to the version of you that was defined by what you didn't have. Say goodbye to the version of you that was afraid to look at the bank balance. That person is being replaced by a new creation, one who is confident, peaceful, and profoundly wealthy in spirit and in truth. The vaults of heaven are not just full of money, they are full of the joy you thought you'd lost, the peace you thought was impossible, and the security you thought was a myth. As we move forward, carry no baggage from the desert. Leave the counting of pennies in the dust of the old path. You are stepping onto a path of crystalline light, where every step you take is supported by the bedrock of my eternal provision. You are loved. You are seen. You are being restored. The deepest pains of your past are becoming the greatest testimonies of my power. Rest in this truth, for the transition is already underway. My child, stay in this space of healing with me, for we are not yet finished uncovering the beauty that lies beneath the wreckage of your past trials. I see the quiet, persistent ache that comes from years of delayed hope. I know the specific sting of watching others receive their breakthroughs while you remained in the hallway of waiting, wondering if your name had somehow been erased from the book of my remembrance. You have sat in the pews or walked through the streets seeing the abundance of others, and though you tried to be happy for them, a small, weary part of your soul whispered, "When will it be my turn?" That whisper was not born of greed, but of a soul that was simply tired of the friction of survival. I want you to know that your wait was never a denial. It was a preparation. You have been in a season of spiritual gestation, where I was strengthening your roots so that when the canopy of your prosperity finally spreads wide, it will not be toppled by the winds of pride or the storms of sudden change. I see the hidden struggles you faced within your own mind, the battle against the spirit of lack that tries to convince you that you are somehow flawed, that there is a secret reason why wealth evades you. You have searched your heart, asking, "Is it my faith? Is it my past mistakes? Is it a curse?" Let me silence those accusing voices right now. I am not a God who withholds goodness to punish his children. I am the God who gives liberally and without reproach. The obstacles you faced were not my way of saying no, but the enemy's way of trying to stop the yes that I already spoke over your life before time began. The friction you felt was the evidence of your momentum. You were moving against the current of a world system that wants to keep you small, dependent, and fearful. But my child, you are a citizen of a different kingdom. Your economy is not governed by the rise and fall of interest rates or the instability of markets. Your economy is governed by the throne of grace, and that throne is never in deficit. I want to speak to the fatigue that has settled into your very marrow, the kind of tiredness that a night's sleep cannot fix. It is the exhaustion of being the strong one, the one everyone else leans on even when you feel like you are crumbling inside. You have kept up appearances, you have worn the mask of fine, but inside, you have been screaming for a reprieve. I heard those screams. I saw the moments when your hands shook as you signed a paper or paid a debt, not knowing where the next provision would come from. I want you to feel my hand upon your head right now, cooling the heat of that stress. I am releasing a divine sedative into your spirit, not to make you sleep, but to make you rest in the middle of the movement. I am taking the strive out of your life. You have been taught that you must grind, that you must struggle, that you must bleed for every inch of progress. While diligence is a virtue, the grind of the world is a yoke of slavery. I am replacing that heavy yoke with my easy one. I am showing you a way of flow, where the resources come to you because you are in alignment, not because you are in agony. Think of the dreams you have tucked away in the attic of your heart, covered in the dust of someday. I am blowing the dust off those dreams today. I see the businesses you wanted to start, the homes you wanted to build, the charities you wanted to fund, the travel you wanted to experience. Not for vanity, but for the expansion of your soul and the blessing of the world. You thought those dreams were dead, but I tell you, they were only dormant. Like seeds deep beneath the winter snow, they were waiting for the warmth of this specific word to begin their ascent. I am giving you permission to dream again. I am giving you the green light to look beyond the horizon of your current limitations. The pain of the not yet is being swallowed up by the joy of the now. I am the God of the 11th hour, the God who steps in when all human options have been exhausted, just to show the world that I alone am the source of your life. I know the weight of generational patterns, the way your parents struggled, and their parents before them. You have felt like there was an invisible ceiling above your head, a limit to how far someone from your background could go. You felt the pressure of poverty of spirit, where even when you had a little, you were afraid to enjoy it because you felt it was a fluke that would soon be taken away. I am shattering that ceiling into 1,000,000 pieces. I am rewriting your DNA with the code of abundance. You are the pattern breaker of your lineage. You are the one who will teach the next generation what it looks like to walk in the fullness of my favor. The pain of being the first to break through is great, but the reward is even greater. You are enduring the birth pangs of a new era for your entire family tree. Do not look back at the years of lack with regret, my child. Those years were not wasted. They were a classroom where you learned the value of $1, the beauty of a simple meal, and the strength of a spirit that refuses to quit. Because you have known what it is to have little, you will be a compassionate and wise steward when you have much. I am giving you the gold of wisdom before I give you the gold of the world, so that the wealth does not change who you are, but amplifies who you are in me. I am healing the bitterness that started to grow in your heart when you saw the wicked prosper while you, in your righteousness, struggled. Do not envy them. Their wealth is a hollow shell, but the wealth I am giving you is seasoned with peace, joy, and eternal purpose. It is a wealth that adds no sorrow with it. I am standing with you in the wreckage of your old life, and I am pointing toward the sunrise. Can you see it? The sky is turning from the gray of barely surviving to the purple and gold of royalty. The person who was counting pennies is passing away, and the person who manages kingdoms is being born. Feel the strength returning to your heart. Feel the clarity returning to your mind. The fog of financial confusion is lifting, and you are beginning to see the path I have laid out for you, a path lined with favor, marked by suddenlies, and leading straight into the heart of my vaults. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are a victor by my spirit. The pain is the shadow, but the light is the reality. And the light is growing brighter with every word I speak to you. Rest in this, my beloved. The deepest part of the night is over. The dawn is here. Now, my child, as the light of my promise begins to warm the atmosphere of your life, we must turn our gaze toward the shadows that have tried to linger in the corners of your destiny. To fully inhabit the mansion of abundance I have prepared for you, we must identify and dismantle the spiritual blocks and the hidden enemies that have conspired to keep you in the waiting room of your own life. You have often wondered why, despite your prayers and your hard work, there seemed to be an invisible wall blocking your progress. You would take 3 steps forward only to be shoved 4 steps back by a force you couldn't quite name. These are the thieves of the spirit, the subtle blockages that have acted as a ceiling over your head. I am here to expose them today, for once an enemy is brought into the light, it loses its power to hold you captive. The first block we must address is the spirit of delay, a persistent shadow that has tried to convince you that your season will never come. This enemy doesn't tell you that the blessing isn't yours. It simply whispers, "Not yet," over and over again until your heart grows sick with hope deferred. It has sat upon your projects, your applications, and your ideas like a heavy weight, causing doors that should have swung wide to stick and stall. This spirit has tried to wear you down through attrition, hoping that if it delayed your breakthrough long enough, you would eventually stop asking, stop believing, and settle for a life of quiet desperation. But I am rebuking the spirit of delay on your behalf this very hour. The slow motion season of your life is being accelerated into a divine momentum. I am removing the friction that has made every task feel like an uphill battle. The oil of my favor is being poured upon the gears of your destiny, and things that have been stuck for years are about to move with a speed that will leave you breathless. We must also look at the hidden enemies, those voices, some from your past and some even in your present circle, that have spoken words of limitation over you. There are people who have looked at you through the eyes of envy or small-mindedness, and their silent projections have acted like spiritual anchors. You have felt the evil eye of those who were uncomfortable with your potential, those who preferred you when you were struggling because your struggle made them feel superior. I am cutting the cords of every soul tie and every word curse that has been whispered against your prosperity. Every "you'll never be more than this," and every "who do you think you are," is being erased from the spiritual record. I am placing a hedge of protection around your mind so that the skepticism of others can no longer penetrate your faith. You have been carrying the weight of other people's low expectations, but I am stripping those heavy garments off you today and dressing you in the mantle of my high calling. Furthermore, my child, we must examine the block of the inner critic, that part of you that has internalized the scarcity of the world. This is the hidden enemy within, the one that tells you that you are not worthy of the vaults of heaven. It is the voice that reminds you of every financial mistake you've ever made, every foolish purchase, every missed opportunity, and uses them as evidence that you cannot be trusted with much. This is a lie from the pit of darkness. I am the God of the second, third, and thousandth chance. I do not look at your past ledgers to determine your future credit in the kingdom. I look at the blood of my Son and the sincerity of your heart. I am healing your wealth worthiness. You must realize that I am not giving you this financial freedom because you are perfect, but because you are mine. The enemy has used your own guilt as a barricade to keep you from walking through the gates of the vault. Today, I am dissolving that guilt in the ocean of my mercy. You are worthy because I have made you worthy. You are qualified because I have called you. There is also the spirit of the devourer that has been operating in the periphery of your life. Have you noticed how, whenever you finally manage to save a little, an unexpected emergency would arise to snatch it away? A car repair, a medical bill, a sudden loss. This is the work of the devourer, the thief who seeks to bleed your resources so that you never reach a place of overflow. I am standing as your advocate today, and I am saying to the devourer, "No more." I am rebuking the locusts that have been eating your harvest in secret. I am sealing the holes in your pockets. I am establishing a divine insurance over your household, where your possessions will last longer, your health will be sustained, and your resources will be protected from the sudden strikes of the enemy. You have been living in a leaky bucket economy, but I am transforming your life into a solid cistern of blessing that holds every drop I pour into it. I see the spiritual blocks that come from generational fear, the inherited anxiety that says, "Money is the root of all evil," or "We are just poor, humble people." These are religious spirits that have twisted my word to keep my children in bondage. While the love of money is a snare, the lack of money is a cage, and I did not design you for a cage. I am breaking the vow of poverty that was taken by your ancestors, whether consciously or unconsciously. I am showing you that true humility is not found in lack, but in total dependence on my provision. Being broke does not make you more holy. It simply makes you more limited in how you can serve my kingdom. I am giving you a kingdom expansion mindset. I am removing the fear that having more will make you lose your way. I will keep your heart soft as I make your bank account strong. Be aware, too, of the enemy of distraction. This enemy doesn't try to stop the money, it tries to stop your focus. It fills your life with busyness, with small fires that need to be put out, with trivial dramas that drain your emotional bank account so that you have no energy left to pursue the great wealth-generating ideas I am placing in your spirit. I am clearing your schedule. I am quietening the noise. I am giving you a holy tunnel vision so that you can see the path to the vaults clearly. No longer will you be pulled in 1,000 directions by the demands of the world. You will walk with a calm, purposeful stride toward the manifestation of your miracle. Stay close to me as we navigate these revelations. It may feel uncomfortable to see these enemies clearly, but knowledge is the first step toward total liberation. You are being cleared in the spirit realm. The blockages are being dissolved by the fire of my presence. The hidden enemies are being scattered into the wilderness. The atmosphere around you is becoming thin, meaning the distance between my promise and your reality is disappearing. You are no longer fighting from a place of defeat. You are enforcing a victory that was won at the beginning of time. The vaults are open, and now the path to them is being swept clean of every obstacle. Breathe in the air of this newfound freedom. The walls are down. The giants are falling. Your territory is being enlarged, and there is nothing left to hold you back from the financial glory that is now your portion. My child, as we continue to stand in this holy clarity, I want you to feel the final crumbling of those ancient barriers. We have named the enemies and identified the blocks, but now I am going even deeper into the spiritual architecture of your life to dismantle the very foundations of lack that have held you captive. There are unseen contracts you have signed in moments of despair, contracts with the spirit of just enough. I remember the nights you sat in the dark and whispered to the air, "I don't need to be rich, I just need to get by." You thought you were being humble, but you were actually agreeing to a limitation that I never placed upon you. That contract is being shredded in the courts of heaven today. You were created for the exceedingly abundantly, yet you settled for the barely surviving. I am removing the spiritual scales from your eyes so you can see that the scarcity you feared was an illusion, a holographic wall designed by the enemy to keep you from the lush valley of my providence. I am exposing the hidden predators of your peace, those subtle, spiritual leeches that have been draining your creative vitality. Have you wondered why your best ideas seemed to wither before they could bear fruit? Or why, when you felt a spark of divine inspiration to start a new venture, a sudden wave of lethargy or self-doubt would wash over you? This was not your own weakness, it was a spiritual atmospheric pressure designed to keep you grounded. The enemy knows that if you ever truly realized the power of your own words and the weight of the favor I have placed upon you, you would become unstoppable. So, he sent the spirit of heaviness to sit upon your chest. I am lifting that weight right now. I am breaking the gravity of poverty that has tried to keep your spirit pinned to the earth. You are being given wings of fire, the ability to soar above the mundane struggles of the marketplace and see the God opportunities that are invisible to the fearful eye. We must also confront the thief of time who has been stealing your years. You feel as though you are behind in life, looking at your age and your bank account and feeling a sense of panic that the clock is running out. This panic is a spiritual block. It creates a frequency of desperation that actually repels the abundance I am trying to send. I am the Lord of time, and I am the God of restoration. I am collapsing the time it takes for a seed to become a harvest. In my kingdom, you can reap in the same season that you sow. I am performing a chronological miracle for you, where the progress that should have taken 20 years will happen in 20 months, or even 20 days. Do not let the calendar be your master. The hidden enemy of age shame is being rebuked. You are not too old, and it is not too late. The vaults are opening at the perfect moment, at the Kairos moment, where your character is finally strong enough to carry the weight of the wealth I am releasing. I see the saboteur that has lived in your subconscious, the part of you that was actually afraid of what would happen if you became truly wealthy. You feared it would change you, or that your friends would abandon you, or that you would lose your spiritual edge. This fear of success is a massive blockage that has acted like a spiritual thermostat, shutting off the flow of my blessing whenever things started to get too good. I am healing that fear today. I am showing you that my gold is pure and it does not corrupt the heart that is anchored in me. I am giving you a capacity for greatness. I am stretching your spiritual tent pegs so that you can house the millions I want to channel through you without breaking. The enemy tried to convince you that blessed are the poor meant blessed are the broke, but I am showing you the true translation. Blessed are those who are poor in spirit, those who know they are nothing without me. You can have the wealth of Solomon and still be poor in spirit, and that is where your safety lies. I am also dealing with the spirits of competition and comparison that have been lurking in your social circles. These are hidden enemies that steal your joy and block your flow. When you look at what others have and feel a twinge of, why not me, you are inadvertently telling the universe that you believe my supply is limited. You are acting as if there is only one pie and someone else is taking your slice. But my child, my supply is an infinite ocean. Someone else's blessing does not diminish yours. It proves that the God who did it for them is in the neighborhood and can do it for you. I am removing the poverty of perspective that makes you feel you must compete. From this day forward, you will walk in a monopoly of favor. You are not competing with anyone, because I am carving out a path for you that no one else can walk. Your blessing has your unique fingerprint on it. No one can steal it, no one can claim it, and no one can delay it once I have said, go. Look at the spiritual landscape of your life now. The clouds are parting. The jagged rocks of spiritual blocks are being smoothed over by the river of my grace. The hidden enemies who once mocked your prayers are now being silenced by the roar of my voice. I am setting a table for you in the very presence of those who doubted you. They will watch as the vaults of heaven pour out a blessing so great that you will not have room enough to receive it. And as they watch, they will see that you have not become arrogant, but more humble, not more selfish, but more generous. The greatest weapon against the enemy is a child of God who is both wealthy and holy. That is what I am making of you. Breathe in this liberation, my child. Every no you have ever received from the world is being swallowed up by my yes. Every gate that was locked by an enemy hand is being taken off its hinges by my angelic hosts. You are no longer blocked. You are no longer hindered. You are no longer delayed. You are in the green room of your destiny, waiting for the curtain to rise. The someone who is on their way to you is now just around the corner. They are carrying the keys to the physical manifestation of what we have just unlocked in the spirit. Stay in this flow. Do not let your mind return to the old ways of thinking. The vaults are open, the path is clear, and the wealth of the kingdom is flowing toward you like a tidal wave of light. You are ready. You are free. The restoration has begun. Now, my child, witness the shifting of the tides. We have walked through the valley of healing, we have identified the shadows, and we have dismantled the barriers that stood in your way. But look up, the atmosphere has changed. The heavy gray curtains of the waiting season are being pulled back by angelic hands to reveal a horizon ablaze with the gold of my glory. This is the divine turning point. This is the moment where the suddenly of heaven intersects with the today of your earthly life. You are no longer standing on the periphery of your promise. You are stepping onto the threshold of the vault itself. I am not just promising you a better life. I am promising you a total restoration. Every year that the locusts of lack have consumed, every harvest that was stolen by the storms of circumstance, and every seed of effort that seemed to die in the parched earth, I am calling them all back to life. I am the God of the recompense, and I am paying you back with interest for every tear you shed in the dark. Can you hear the sound of the vault doors fully opening? It is a sound of cosmic resonance, a vibration that shakes the foundations of your old reality. Within these vaults, I have stored up the riches that have been reserved for this exact moment in history. I am releasing a supernatural wealth transfer into your hands. This is not merely about currency, it is about the wealth of the kingdom. I am giving you the treasures of darkness and the hidden riches of secret places, so that you may know that I am the Lord who calls you by name. The financial freedom you have prayed for is not coming in a trickle, it is coming in a flood. I am opening the floodgates of favor so wide that you will find yourself in a state of holy bewilderment, wondering how everything changed so fast. This is the turning point where your not enough is swallowed by my more than enough. You are moving from the wilderness of wait to the promised land of possess. Someone is already on their way to bring you the news that will change everything. I have been speaking to them, and they are moving in obedience to a divine impulse they cannot ignore. Even as I speak these words to you, the paperwork is being signed, the decisions are being made in high places, and the resources are being diverted from the storehouses of the world into your accounts. This person who is coming is a destiny helper, a conduit of my grace sent specifically to you. They are not coming because of your merit, but because of my mandate. You won't have to beg for their attention or explain your worth. I have already placed a divine mark upon you that speaks for itself. They will look at you and see the answer to a problem they have been trying to solve. They will see the potential that I have hidden within you, and they will be compelled by my spirit to invest in your dreams, to open doors you couldn't knock on, and to provide the capital that will break the back of your debt forever. This is the season of the miracle of restoration. I am restoring your credit, I am restoring your reputation, and I am restoring your ability to sleep without the ghost of poverty whispering in your ear. I am taking the red ink of your past and washing it white with the gold ink of my favor. Think of the things you thought were lost forever. The house you couldn't keep, the business that folded, the opportunities you had to pass up because you were broke. I am bringing them back in a new and better form. This is not a patch on an old garment. I am giving you a brand new robe of royalty. The wealth I am releasing to you today is seasoned with my peace, which means it will not come with the stress or the sorrow that the world's wealth brings. You will not have to sell your soul to sustain it. You will not have to compromise your peace to maintain it. It is a gift, and my gifts are irrevocable. I am giving you divine intelligence to navigate this new level of abundance. As the vaults open, you will find yourself flooded with ideas that are worth millions. I am showing you the hidden paths to prosperity that others overlook. You will see trends before they happen. You will have insights that bypass human logic. I am turning your mind into a magnet for miracles. You have spent your life reacting to lack, but now you will live by responding to abundance. I am enlarging your capacity to receive. You have been a cup trying to hold a river, but today I am turning you into a reservoir. I am stretching your faith so that you are no longer intimidated by large numbers or grand visions. When you look at the vaults, do not see them as something external. See them as the manifestation of the King's love for his child. This turning point is the end of your survival narrative. From this day forward, when you speak of your life, you will not talk about the struggle, but about the success of the Spirit. You will tell the story of how God stepped in when you were at your lowest point and lifted you to the heights. You are becoming a living billboard for my goodness. I am putting a new song in your mouth, a song of financial liberation. I am breaking the cycle of the paycheck-to-paycheck existence. I am establishing you in a place of kingdom stability, where you are the lender and not the borrower, where you are the head and not the tail. You are entering a perpetual harvest, where even as you are reaping one blessing, the next one is already beginning to bloom. Take a moment to let the reality of this promise sink into your spirit. The vaults of heaven are not a metaphor, they are the spiritual reality of my infinite supply. They are open for you. Not for the person next to you, not for some more deserving saint, but for you, my child. I have chosen you to be a recipient of this divine wealth because I can trust your heart. I know that as I bless you, you will be a blessing. I know that you will use this freedom to bring light to the dark places, to feed the hungry, and to build the things that matter for eternity. The turning point is here. The shift has occurred. The messenger is on the doorstep. The wealth is flowing. The restoration is complete. Walk forward with your head held high, for the King has remembered you, and the treasure of the kingdom is now your reality. My child, can you feel the ground beneath your spirit becoming firm? The shifting is over, and the solid bedrock of my promise is now beneath your feet. We are standing together at the very center of this divine turning point, where the intangible whispers of your prayers are crystallizing into the tangible gold of my reality. You have spent years looking at the world through the foggy glass of maybe, but today I am shattering that glass so you can see the surely of my covenant. I am the God who does not lie, and I am telling you that the financial restoration I have promised is not just a possibility. It is an inevitability. The vaults are not merely open, they are emptying themselves into your life. Every heavenly resource, every spiritual currency, and every earthly favor is being directed toward you with the precision of a laser. I am aligning the hearts of kings, the decisions of committees, and the movements of the global economy just to ensure that the portion I have set aside for you reaches your hands at exactly the right moment. Someone is already on their way, and their arrival will be the physical confirmation of everything your spirit has felt during this sacred time. I have placed a divine unrest in their soul that can only be satisfied by their generosity toward you. They are carrying a seed of destiny that is destined to be planted in the soil of your life. Do not look for them among the familiar faces only, for I often use the stranger to demonstrate the magnitude of my reach. I am bringing people from the north, south, east, and west to contribute to your elevation. You have been a hidden treasure, buried under the weight of financial hardship, but I am unearthing you today. I am brushing off the dust of the poverty years and polishing you until you reflect the blinding radiance of my glory. This is the restoration of your kingship, my child. You were never meant to be a slave to interest rates or a prisoner of debt. You were born to rule, to manage, and to distribute the riches of my kingdom. I am restoring the years of the drought with a season of the deluge. Think of the interest you have paid to others. I am commanding that interest to return to you in the form of supernatural dividends. Think of the houses you lost, the cars that were repossessed, the jewelry you pawned just to make ends meet. I am replacing them with things of greater value and greater beauty. I am not just a God who replaces, I am a God who upgrades. When I restore, the new version is always more glorious than the old. I am giving you the wealth of the Gentiles, bringing to you the resources that have been stored up by the world for this very hour. You will see your accounts grow not through the sweat of your brow alone, but through the sweetness of my breath. I am breathing upon your finances, and where there was a zero, there shall be an overflow. Where there was a balance due, there shall be a paid in full stamp written in the blood of the Lamb. This is the end of the counting era. No longer will you have to check your balance before you buy a loaf of bread or a gift for a friend. I am taking away the spirit of calculation that has kept your mind in a constant state of mathematical anxiety. I am replacing it with the spirit of celebration. You will walk into stores, you will walk into banks, and you will walk into boardrooms with a quiet, unshakable confidence, knowing that you are backed by the treasury of heaven. You are no longer a financial orphan, you are a financial heir. Every bill that has haunted you is being transformed into a testimony. You will look back at your old debt statements and laugh, not with mockery, but with a heart overwhelmed by the absurdity of my goodness. You will say, "How did he do it?" And I will answer, "Because you are my child, and I love to give you the kingdom." I am activating the law of attraction within your spirit, not as the world understands it, but as the kingdom defines it. Because your heart is now aligned with my abundance, you will begin to attract wealth instead of chasing it. Opportunities will find you in the most unlikely places. You will be interrupted by prosperity. A phone call, an email, a chance encounter in a coffee shop, these will be the delivery systems for the miracles I am sending. I am giving you supernatural discernment to recognize these moments. You will no longer waste your time on distraction deals that lead to dead ends. You will have a divine nose for the gold mines of my favor. I am giving you the power to create wealth, a creative anointing that will birth businesses, inventions, and strategies that will provide for you and your family for generations to come. This is not a quick fix. This is a generational shift. I want you to visualize the vaults one last time. See them not as empty rooms, but as engines of supply that never stop running. There is no shortage in my heaven. There are no supply chain issues in my kingdom. There is no inflation in my presence. I am giving you a recession-proof life. While the world trembles at the news of economic downturns, you will sit in the secret place of the Most High and watch as your storehouses continue to fill. You will be a source of stability for others. People will come to you asking for the secret of your peace and the source of your provision, and you will have the joy of pointing them toward the one who opens the vaults. You are being blessed to be a blessing. You are being enriched so that you can be an apostle of abundance in a world that is starving for hope. Rest in this turning point, my beloved. The struggle has officially been deleted from your future. The someone is walking toward you right now. The check is being written. The contract is being awarded. The debt is being canceled. The miracle is not on its way. It has arrived at the gates of your perception. Open the gates. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and let the King of glory, the Lord of abundance, come in. You are entering the most wealthy, peaceful, and joyful chapter of your existence. The pennies are gone. The vaults are yours. Believe it, receive it, and prepare to walk in the freedom you have prayed for. The restoration is not a dream. It is your new home. Welcome home, my child. Welcome to the abundance of your Father. My child, as we draw near to the completion of this divine encounter, I want you to feel the deep, rhythmic pulse of my peace settling into your soul. We have moved through the fire and the flood, and now we stand in the spacious place of my ultimate favor. These final moments together are not an end, but a sealing of the covenant, a spiritual branding of your heart with the mark of eternal provision. I am surrounding you now with a wall of fire that no thief can penetrate and no enemy can bypass. The financial freedom I have released into your life today is protected by the host of heaven. You need not fear that this blessing is a fleeting shadow or a temporary high. It is a permanent change in your spiritual climate. I am placing a divine lock on the vaults I have opened for you, and I am handing you the key. This key is your faith, your gratitude, and your unwavering trust in my character. From this moment on, you will walk in a state of perpetual protection, where the devourer is rebuked, and the thief is caught and made to pay back sevenfold for everything he ever stole from you. Listen closely, for I am speaking affirmations of truth into the very marrow of your bones. I want you to repeat them in the quiet sanctuary of your mind, for your words are the steering wheel of your destiny. Say it with me. I am a child of the King, and the vaults of heaven are open to me today. I no longer count pennies. I manage the abundance of the kingdom. I am debt-free, worry-free, and full of divine purpose. The person God has sent to bless me is arriving now, and I receive my financial freedom with open hands and a humble heart. Feel the power of those words as they vibrate through your spirit. They are not mere sentences. They are spiritual decrees that align your physical reality with my heavenly blueprint. I am erasing the memory of lack from your nervous system. Every time a thought of not enough tries to creep back into your mind, it will be immediately incinerated by the light of my promise. You are being rewired for wealth, not just the wealth that sits in a bank, but the wealth of a soul that knows it is perfectly loved and perfectly provided for. I am establishing an eternal hedge around your resources. Just as I protected the house of Job, I am placing a perimeter of protection around your bank accounts, your investments, your home, and your ideas. No longer will you be a victim of sudden leaks or unforeseen calamities that drain your peace. I am giving you supernatural longevity in everything you touch. Your tools will not break, your health will not fail, and your joy will not wither. You are entering a season where the blessing of the Lord makes one rich and he adds no sorrow with it. This is a sorrow-free wealth, my child. It is a wealth that allows you to give without fear and to receive without guilt. I am washing away the poverty shame that has kept you from walking with your head held high. You are a royal heir, and it is time you carried yourself with the dignity of your lineage. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere of my abundance will walk in with you. People will sense a shift in the air. They will see a glow of favor upon you that cannot be explained by human logic. I want to speak to your future, for I have already seen it and it is breathtaking. I see you standing as a pillar of strength in your community. I see you signing checks that change lives, building ministries that heal the broken, and creating legacies that will outlive your physical body. You thought you were just praying for a bill to be paid, but I was preparing you to be a global distributor of grace. You are becoming a wellspring in the desert. Because you have been faithful in the dark, I am trusting you with the light of great responsibility. Do not be intimidated by the scale of the vision I am dropping into your spirit. The same God who opened the vaults is the God who will give you the wisdom to manage the treasures within. I am giving you angelic consultants, spiritual beings who will whisper strategies in your ear during the night and guide your hand during the day. You will never have to make a financial decision alone again. I am your senior partner, and my expertise is infinite. As we seal this section, I am pouring out a final anointing of ease upon you. The struggle is officially over. The grind is replaced by the grace. You will find that things which used to take months now take minutes. You will find that people who used to be obstacles are now stepping stones. This is the easy yoke in its financial manifestation. I am smoothing the path ahead of you, removing every stumbling block and leveling every mountain of debt. You are walking on holy ground, and every step you take is a step further into the heart of my vaults. Rest in the assurance that I have seen your end from your beginning, and your end is glorious. You are protected, you are provided for, and you are profoundly cherished. The transition is complete in the spirit. Now, watch as it manifests in the natural. You are ready to receive the final blessing, for you have become the person I called you to be. Peace be unto you, my beloved child. The wealth of heaven has found its home in you. My child, we have reached the pinnacle of this divine encounter, the sacred summit where the earth of your struggle meets the heaven of my supply. Can you feel the stillness? It is the silence of a battle that has ended in total victory. It is the peace of a debt that has been cancelled, not just in the ledgers of men, but in the archives of eternity. As I wrap you in this final, luminous embrace, I want you to carry the weight of this truth. You are no longer the person who walked into this moment. That version of you, the one who lived by the math of scarcity, the one who measured their worth in pennies, has been consumed by the fire of my love. You have emerged as a golden vessel, refined and ready to hold the outpouring of the vaults that now stand wide open before you. This is my final blessing upon you today, a blessing that is not merely words, but a spiritual impartation of sovereign power and everlasting security. I decree over you right now that the heavens above you shall never again be brass, and the earth beneath you shall never again be iron. You are living under an open sky of favor. I bless the work of your hands, that everything you touch shall turn to the gold of my purpose. I bless your mind with a clarity that surpasses human understanding. You will see the hidden paths, you will hear the whispers of opportunity, and you will walk with a divine knowing that leads you straight to the harvest. I bless your home to be a sanctuary of abundance, where the oil of joy never runs dry and the bread of my presence is always on the table. I place a seal upon your finances that no economic storm can break. When the world speaks of lack, you shall speak of the overflow. When others are trembling at the shaking of the foundations, You shall stand firm, for your house is built upon the rock of my promise. The someone who was on their way has arrived at the threshold of your life. The connection is being made. The bridge is being crossed. I am releasing the supernatural suddenlies into your physical reality this very hour. Watch your notifications, watch your mail, and watch the eyes of those you meet, for my favor is shining through the cracks of the mundane. I have commanded the north to give up and the south to keep not back. Your resources are being gathered from every corner of the creation. I am giving you a covenant of wealth that will not only sustain you but will provide for your children's children. This is the end of generational poverty. This is the birth of a generational legacy. You are the chosen one through whom I am changing the trajectory of your entire family tree. Walk with the posture of royalty, for the king is your father, and the wealth of the universe is his gift to you. I bless your sleep from this night forward. No more shall you toss and turn with the phantom weight of bills upon your chest. I am giving you the sleep of the beloved, deep, restorative, and filled with dreams of the great things we will do together. You are safe. You are hidden in the hollow of my hand. The vaults of heaven are not closing, they are becoming the permanent source of your life. You will never have to go back to the counting of pennies, for the river of my provision is a perennial stream that knows no drought. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning of your faith and the finisher of your finances. What I have started in you today, I will bring to a magnificent completion. You are a miracle in motion. You are a testament to the fact that I hear, I answer, and I provide. Go forth now, my child, with a heart overflowing with gratitude. Let your life be a song of praise that draws others to the light. Do not fear the magnitude of the blessing, for I am with you to guide your every step. You have the mind of Christ, the heart of a servant, and the resources of a king. The financial freedom you prayed for is no longer a petition, it is your permanent residence. Breathe in the air of the vaults, it is the scent of cedar, gold, and eternal peace. I love you with an everlasting love, and it is my greatest joy to see you walk in this fullness. It is finished. The gates are open. The wealth is yours. The peace is yours. My child, you are finally, truly, and eternally free. Receive this blessing into your spirit, and let it manifest in your world, now and forevermore. Amen.